I actually got a brand new part for my Porsche 911 restoration project this week. So I'm going to be installing this so I can continue block sanding on the outer body panels. Stay tuned.
Garage time.
Welcome everyone. If you're new to my channel, I'm building this Porsche 911 project on a shoestring budget. I mean really shoestring. So my goal is to make this car drivable for less than $10K or around $10,000, and that includes the price of the car. A price like that for a car in this era, a Porsche 911 long hood, is absurd. If you want to see some current market prices, check out this video I did right here. The only way to achieve this low budget is through DIY. So I try to inspire you to use some similar techniques on your projects at home to save money. Let's get going. All right, inside the box is the hood seal. This is the seal that goes around the perimeter of the hood on this channel right about here. So this is important before I can finish sanding on the hood and the fenders, that the final seal will be in place so that the elevations are controlled by the seal and the latches and all that. I'm going to install this today, hopefully get the passenger fender back on today, the hood reinstalled on, and place the seal in place so I can finish block sanding across the gaps. Wish me luck. Okay, I'm really happy with how these inner fenders turned out. Last week I spent a ton of time sanding nooks and crannies and getting all this and the trunk area prepped for epoxy primer. It turned out great. And I was sharing these photos on Facebook and some other forums. As I was bragging about how good it looks, I realized I forgot to install this. This is the brake line bracket. While the fender's off, I'm going to re-weld this back on. And of course, it's going to disturb a little bit of the paint, but it's only primer and I can use my brush technique to restore it. There's 5 welds and 4 of the 5 are good. This one right here has this hole because I was afraid to burn through this edge right here. So this is where I come back with the TIG welder and just fill in that hole. And then I, of course, create the little dimples there to simulate the spot welds. It's my little signature. Okay, now it's welded in. Next time I mix up some primer, I'm gonna brush it into this area. Might do it today, but I'm gonna focus on the hood right now. Okay, the car is now back down on its wheels, and I put the struts in place just temporarily, kind of finger tight. So I'm gonna see how the seal fits and try to get the hood back on. I'm actually pleasantly surprised at the way this seal fit in here. Not too bad. So this part here is pretty stiff in the corner, but it does lay down. And I'm not sure if this is tucked in correctly. I don't know if it's supposed to be, you know, sticking out here or tucked down inside there. But either way, if I tuck it in like that, it kind of holds it in position. And then of course I have it taped up there. And you know, this is a cheap aftermarket seal, and it actually feels like it fits okay. Now I hope this doesn't throw off the height, this here corner. I hope this doesn't lift the hood up. Okay, last week I drilled some through holes in both the hinge and the tub so I could realign these hinges. So I'm just using the same drill bit to make sure it's in the exact same place as it was before. Okay, it seems like I just took the hood off, but now it's time to put it back on. I have the seal in place. I have some towels and some tape there in the corners, so I try not to bang up the epoxy primer. And I just need the kid. Where's that guy? All right, let's do it. Your hand's getting squished. Okay, let go. There we go. All right, now see those screws on top right there? We're gonna, I'm gonna lift it up and you're gonna try to put the screws in, okay?
Where?
So there's a hinge underneath here. Watch this. See that red thing in there?
Mm-hmm.
So just fold it up.
Fold it up.
Hinge it up. And then those bolts go through here. I'll try to hold it for you. So put the bolts in. Oh wait, see that? There's a bolt in already. Take that bolt down. So put your thumb up like this. You turn in the direction of your fingers like this. So you want the bolt to go in, you turn like that. But you gotta use your right hand. So stick your right hand up. Which way do you turn it? Like that, okay, there you go. That's why they call it right hand threads. Yep. And then we're gonna put them through the hinge and into the hood, okay? It's all right, just get another one. Do it right here. See where my finger is?
Yeah, I can't.
Here, hang on, if you can't get that one,
It's in.
It's in?
Yeah, there.
Okay, come to the other side. Same thing, lift up the hinge and those bolts are on top of the roof. Look at the, see how it's closing? Tell me if it's gonna rub, right where the towels are. Is it gonna rub on the gray to gray or is it okay?
It's okay.
Okay, so far so good. I was able to use those drills to, you know, line it up. So this gap on this side is looking actually pretty nice. This elevation is right, It's not standing up proud. If anything, it's a little low. It's actually a little bit low. And I know why, because when I had taken this off, I had planned on some washers. There were some washers underneath the rear portion of the hinge. Okay, there's that washer underneath the rear bolt, and I'm not sure if this is how you're supposed to adjust this, but that's the way I had it before. I purposely put those washers in a bag and labeled them, so I knew that these are the ones that go back in. So let's close the hood and see how it looks. Okay, now it's looking much, much better. If anything, it's now just a little bit too tall. Here's my drill bits I was using for alignment. Probably hard to pick up on camera, but there is a slight offset. This is a little higher than this side, probably by the height of this drill bit. So, you know, these seals will relax over time, you know, with pressure. So I'm going to count on that. We'll check it again in the morning. I'm actually pretty impressed with the seal. It's working out a lot better than I expected it would. I thought I was gonna fight with the heights and the stiffness, but it is very supple, very soft rubber. And this was an eBay special. I mean, this was a $55, you know, including shipping type item from URO. But I'm super pleased with it. Way less work than I thought it would be. Also, the holes I put in the hinges and really improved the fit, getting it back the way it was. I mean, I had a helper, but it was only like 20 minutes getting the hood on the car, which I'm gonna have to take the hood off the car again when I spray the color. So it's nice to know that it's a repeatable position and the gaps just go right back to where they were. So things are looking up. I've let this sit overnight and there hasn't been much change with the height of the hood relative to the fender. I can still feel a little bit of an elevation change here or a step. The fender is lower than the hood and the rubber is holding it up because if I push down, you know, really hard on it, I can feel the sponginess of the rubber. So I think at this point, it's probably worth taking out one of the washers and compressing the seal just a little bit more using the hinge and let it settle again, but it looks like it's gonna need one washer removed. I'm gonna switch gears now and put the other fender on. Okay, this part's a little deja vu. Just rolling the fender edge again. I used a whole wire wheel last week on cleaning up that trunk area. So I'm going to switch to the flapping disc to gently grind down this edge. Should go pretty quick. Okay, I got this passenger fender back where it's supposed to be, or pretty close. It's not exactly dialed in. There's no mismatch between the heights here. This is very good, and then across here it's very good. So at least I got this corner situated correctly. I still need to tighten up these gaps a little bit with some extra bolts. The door gap is looking a little extra small. I think it just needs a little bit of squeezing here with some bolts. But in general, things are in the correct place. And then the gap here, this gap is a little bit small, but I just need to put some spacers in between there. Because I removed all the putty and all the undercoating, it's really tightened up that gap a little bit. But it's easy for me to put spacers in there and bring that right back to where I want it. Now this is a little bit high right here, so I can push this down. I can push it down so it's even. So I think what has to happen next is I need to put the latch mechanism in the hood. So when I shut the hood, it's compressing the seal and preventing anything from flowing into the hood. There's still a little bit more details to do on the fitment here, but it's looking really nice. I'm going to take the washer out of the driver's side there to lower that driver's side hood corner so it fits more flush. I'm also going to futz with the alignment of this fender. I haven't gotten all the bolts in. I want to use the pry bar and kind of get it in the best possible fit. That is the gaps across the door and the gaps across the hood to be as even as possible. And I'm also going to drill some reference holes like I did for the hood onto the hinge and the tub. That's going to allow me to do the sanding, take it off the car, put it back on during assembly, and I know it's going to go back in the exact same place, so I don't have to guess anymore. Also, the truth is, I overextended myself last week. I did a lot of work on the trunk. Getting it in the epoxy primer was a big milestone. I put a lot of time in, and I just don't have as much time this week. So I am hoping to come out on the weekend, get a little more sanding done. I can come in the evening and do the latch. That kind of stuff is sort of easy peasy. Take care, guys. See ya.